Okay, this should be good. A guy just messaged me. So basically, what just happened was I just got destroyed, and I ended up camping at the end of the game because there's nothing you can do in endgame. There's absolutely nothing other than camp. If you want any sort of number of kills, you have to camp at the end. Unless there's like one survivor. Right? No, nope. Actually, I'll take that back. There's pretty much nothing else you can do except camp. That's not the point. So this guy, they were clearly survivor friends. They gen rushed the shit out of me. There was nothing I could do to really stop them. I mean, there's probably something, but I'm just not good enough to be able to do it. But so, he just told me worst type of killer, because I camped at the end game. So, I'm telling him, like, so I've just told him, I can't, see, the thing is, I don't like camping. I don't like tunneling. I don't like doing any of that. But, okay, tunneling's a bit of a different discussion. If you unhook someone right in front of me, I'm gonna go after them. So, I'm telling this guy, when the exits are open, there's nothing you can do. So, if I have a hook, and sometimes I even have adrenaline, so I even have to smack him and they still get out. So, unless it's someone like Billy who can insta-down, there's really nothing he can do. And even if they unhook, they can just all body block. So if because by the time I, like, even do, like, almost immediately after, the 5 gens are done, the exits are open almost instantly afterwards. So, I can't do anything once the exits are open. Because someone can easily just beeline the exit and then they get out. I can't, the endgame is so busted right now. There's just nothing I can do other than camp my kill. I can't do anything else. If I want a kill, I can try and, I guess I can just try and play the game, but like, as soon as I go after someone else, they're just gonna unhook them, and someone else can just body block, and that guy just gets to the exit, and there's nothing I can do to stop him. So, he's mad that I'm camping, and yeah, he kind of has a right to be, but like, in the current state of the game, there's nothing else I can do if I want any sort of kills. Unless I just want to get 4-man escapes, and then just told afterwards, wow, you suck, dude. There's nothing else I can do. I can only camp. I didn't camp all game. I didn't camp at all. It was just endgame. That was it. I only camped this one guy. So, it's not like they're talking about something else. I camped the last guy who was on the hook. He went from, it was his first hook and he died. And I get why he's pissed. He probably was his friend, and he was probably like, dude, why'd you kill my friend, basically. But, like, there's nothing else I can do. Endgame's at the point where, if I'm someone who isn't Billy, who can't just chainsaw someone, if I just hit someone, they can just beeline the exit and they make it. From, like, across the map, they can just make it. They don't have to do any crazy loops. They might need a pallet or two. But, like, they just make it. If they have body blockers, they absolutely make it. So, not even talking about the hook perspective, but, like, I can't smack them. My only hope is a chainsaw or an insta-down with Michael in that situation. Because the exits gets open so fast that, like, and there's just nothing I can do. They just can beeline the exit. And then the whole other part of endgame is hatch, which is also just broken as hell. Because basically the same thing. Like, person could, like, I can't do anything to stop them from getting the hatch except to slug, which just ruins the game for me and everyone else. Because it's not fun to just sit there with a dead body and just wait for someone to come and pick him up. And then, I also don't want to be like, I can't just, if I slug, then I get the 4-man, or I just hook them, and they just get away for free, most likely. Because, like, I can't do anything to the hatch. I can't stop them from getting it unless I just find them unless I find them before they find hatch. And if I smack them, they can pretty much just beeline, and they probably make the hatch, honestly. There's just nothing right with endgame. And, like, if we both end up at the hatch, yeah, I can grab him, but guess what he's gonna do? He's just gonna wait. And I don't want to wait for the rest of my life just to get one kill when I'm already gonna get a boatload of points if I've reached this point in the game. So I just smack him, and that's that. Because there's nothing else I can do. So as soon as he just reaches hatch, it's just, I don't get that kill anymore. Endgame is just so busted. There's just nothing it's just like, there's absolutely nothing I can. Endgame, as soon as the exits are powered, and as soon as it becomes a hatch, those people are escaping, unless you just play scummy. Which means you either camp the survivor who's on the hook, once you actually get someone. Or you just know you're not going to get the other person who's if someone's getting hatch, if hatch is available, no one else, You're not getting them unless they use the key and there's still more than one person alive. But that's something different. That's kind of irrelevant. Endgame just needs to be fixed. Luckily, the devs are looking into it, so that's not a thing that'll have to happen anymore. But there's nothing you can do about Endgame. It's just so busted. Killers have just, as soon as it reaches Endgame, this is why people run NOED. This is why I don't even get that pissed when I see someone with NOED. Sometimes I get pissed off because it's someone who clearly just isn't even good with their killer. They just use NOED because just basically means, hey, you can suck at killer, but don't worry, you have NOED, so you'll get like 2 kills. But when someone seems good, but they run NOED, I don't blame them, because it's basically the only counter to endgame. It's the only counter. There's like no other counter. There's nothing else you can do. Except be able to just insta-down people. Because that's the only way you're getting a kill. With Billy, Leatherface, and Michael, you realize the reason Billy's and Leatherface are always revving up their chainsaw on endgame is because if they smack you, you just beeline and exit, you're gonna escape. Michael, they stalk you until like get tier 3 because that's the only thing they can do. Because if they hit you, beeline the exit and you escape. So when someone's actually okay and I see him with NOED, I try not to get upset because I kind of understand. Endgame is so busted that like, can you really blame him? The only other perk that even effectively is anything close to NOED is Remember Me, in my opinion. Blood Warden does nothing. You can just leave right before, if you're paranoid about Blood Warden, just leave the exit at 99, then when someone gets hooked, open it. And guess what? There's no barrier. You might have to fake run away from the exit as if you pretend like you have it open, because the killer will be able to see your aura. But it's so easy to counter. Whereas Remember Me, for instance, and with Remember Me, even that's a pain in the ass, because you have to tunnel someone to death, basically. The person who's DS, or Obsession, who will have DS. Thank God that's getting changed. Because there's nothing you can do to counter that either. So you essentially have to kill the hardest person, because if you don't, then that person's just going to open the exits, and you just got a bunch of stacks or nothing. But everyone who I've watched use Remember Me throws the game going after one person. And so they just wasted 5 minutes of their own time going after this one survivor just so the survivors can waste an extra 30 seconds of time. Doesn't make sense. There's no way for killers to counter endgame. I know I've said this about a bazillion times in this little rant. But it's true. There's just nothing you can do. Really a shame, because it's pretty stupid, honestly. Killers have no control over what happens at the end of the game. It's all the survivors. You just have to hope they mess up and you get one, and then you just gotta camp them until they die, because there's nothing else you can do. It's just all the survivors. The survivors are completely in control when it reaches endgame. So I really hope that whatever they do to fix endgame really makes a difference, so that survivors can't just beeline and exit as soon as the gens are done.